my baby, my Valentine, yeah. Boy, now you done making my temperature rise. If you leave me, I go die. I swear, you are like the oxygen.
Hi, my name is Nonima Tigela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So let's talk about the deadly re-exam that was done by Advocate Ramsipile. Oh my God. OMG. The things that he did there. I guess. I want to talk about it because what Advocate Sipho Ramsipile did in that re-examination wasn't just clean up situation kind of vibes. It was a strategic destruction of the Mjiako narrative. I already did 2 videos, but I want to come now and show you what he did there. The real strategy that Ramsipile used, why this re-exam was deadly. Re-examination is not about storytelling. It's about repairing damage and locking contradictions after cross-examination. And here is the key. The state, through Advocate George Baloyi, tried to use Mjiako to suggest Ntanzi had legal guidance. His actions, including confessions or cooperation, were legit and voluntarily. Ramsipile flipped that entire foundation and threw the flippation to hell. And through the flippation to hell, Gesan, he was like, you want to go low? I will take you to hell and I will come back alone. That is what Ramsipile did. He said, you want to go low, Baloyi? I will go to hell with you and I'm going to come back alone, Chief. I'm going to come back alone. That's what he did. Now, step by step, how Ramsipile took Mjiako out. Let's deal with that. 1, destroying lawyer status. Ramsipile didn't argue. He asked surgical questions. Did you sign any agreement with Mjiako? Did he formally represent you in court? Did you ever consult with him properly? Result, there was no documentation, no proof of mandate, no formal appointment. That's critical, Gesana, because in law, if there is no mandate, there is no legal representation, which means everything the state tried to attach to Mjiako is equal to legal horror. Legal horror. Secondly, exposing ghost representation. Ntanzi's version brought out in re-exam, Mjiako would appear randomly, was not consistently present in court, allegedly pushed him to admit to murder. Ramsipile didn't overplay it. He let Ntanzi say it. That's powerful because it turns Mjiako from legal advisor to possible pressure source. Point number 3. Turning the state's weapon against them. The state thought Mjiako helps them prove Ntanzi had guidance. His statements were credible. Ramsipile flipped it into, if this was your lawyer, why is there no proof? Why is he not here to confirm anything? Why does the accused say he was pressured? Now, suddenly, the state is relying on a ghost figure who cannot be tested in court, who has no legal standing. That's dangerous territory for the prosecution. Ramsipile did not play. Ramsipile was like, Futai, Zinja, anginsabi. Manithi ngiyanisaba ngizonibona isishitting zoninikeza ushitting otray. That's dangerous, son. Point number 4, legal masterstroke collapsing voluntariness now. This is where it gets serious legally. Under South African law, Criminal Procedure Act, Section 217, a confession must be freely and voluntarily made in sound and sober senses without undue influence. Now, watch what Ramsipile did here. He introduced a fake lawyer element, adds alleged pressure to confess, removes legal protection around dance. Result, the entire confession environment becomes contaminated. Putting gide sana, putting gide. At this point, Judge Rata, sana, awuna choice. Oh, brother, awuna choice. Iingxaki zakho zimountile, zilingana ne-Mount Kilimanjaro sana, iingxaki zakho. Point number 5, why there was no comeback from the dead. sorry, after re-examination, the state has a problem. They cannot call Mjiyako easily. Risk of exposure, prove his legal status, use him to support voluntariness. And if they ignore him, then their own line of cross-examination becomes meaningless. That is why it felt like left it on the floor, no comeback. That's what Baloyi, that's where he is now, and that is where Ramsipho was like, I'm gonna leave you here for the dead. Shona mawuyaqonda. Mawuqonda shona, ushonele lapha phansi. That's what Ramsipho did, Gesana up. That is what he did. Because Ramsipho didn't just answer the issue, he made it too dangerous to revisit. And that is why you will never see Mjiyako unless the court is interested in real justice. The court can call Mjiyako and ask questions himself. Were you? Who called you? Proof. Without proof, Mjiyako dololoke izinto zakhe azihambe ndawo. Now, the bigger legal damage here, this re-exam hits multiple pressure points. Firstly, credibility collapse. Oh, the bigger legal damage here, the re-exam hits multiple pressure points. Credibility collapses if Mjiyako is unreliable, state's narrative weakens. Secondly, procedural fairness, accused may have been misled or pressured. Thirdly, confession admissibility risk, any link to coercion is equal to possible exclusion. Fourthly, state strategy exposed, they relied on something they cannot prove. So that is where everything becomes problematic for the state case. This wasn't just re-examination, it was a trap reversal. The state tried to use Mjiyako to strengthen their case. Ramsipho turned him into a ghost lawyer, a pressure agent, a legal liability. And once that happens, there is nothing left to revive. And I'm left very proud of Ramsipho. I don't care who says what. I'm very proud of that man. I'm very proud of that somebody's son. He's very good. Okay? Thank you so much. What are your thoughts when it comes to how Ramsipho destroyed everything that Baloyi worked for? How are you feeling about that? Shapuke.
Not to survive, I'll be honest. Your loving they don't me. I am so obsessed. I want to chop your ule. Your body they pack me she ule. Oh, but I make I see ule.
So I'm ready.
Hi guys, my name is Noni Mantigela. Welcome to the Noni M podcast. Look at me, I am at the YouTube Black event. Me, a homie, and today it's my birthday. This is how I'm spending my birthday. Imagine that. Thank you so very much to YouTube for this opportunity.